Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your #1 source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
Breaking news. Police are working now. There's an active investigation in Knightdale. We'll check in with the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
And an update on your weekend forecast. It's now looking a good bit wetter for the day on Saturday instead of just the night. We'll walk through the timeline and talk about when we could see some strong thunderstorms.
Local ICE protests. People speak out after a woman was shot and killed by an agent in Minneapolis. The change they are calling for and the response we're hearing. Airport construction work is happening now to renovate RDU's Terminal 2. The changes you'll see as you travel through the airport next time. It is 4:30, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Friday. What a week it's been, especially with our warm temperatures. It's going to be another warm day. Let's get to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner and also the rain that's coming. Elizabeth.
You know, it really looked like Saturday was going to be pretty dry and that we wouldn't see rain until maybe after sunset. And the models over the last couple of runs, starting late yesterday and into this morning, really started to show a bit more rain during the day on Saturday. It is going to be a nice warm day today and for tomorrow, but we may have the rain to deal with. And then later on in the afternoon and evening, we have the potential for a few isolated thunderstorms that could produce some wind damage. We haven't seen that in quite some time. Ahead of that, today, we're seeing mostly cloudy skies. We do have the top of the tower lit in purple. 47 is our current temperature, so we're beginning to see the warm up. Winds will be out of the southwest today, and that's going to bring us some much warmer temperatures, especially this afternoon. It's 38 in South Hill, 40 in Rocky Mount, 48 in Southern Pines, 47 in Clinton. So instead of your heavy winter coat, probably just a nice jacket will do the trick today. At lunchtime, 66, and we'll see highs in the low 70s this afternoon, again with a lot of cloud cover. But today stays dry. If you want to enjoy the warm temperatures, today is going to be your day.
Sounds good, Elizabeth. Thank you. Right now, we're covering breaking news. A car was just flipped back over on Fayetteville Street in downtown Raleigh. You can see police there on the scene going through that vehicle. We are working to learn about whether there are any injuries and what led to the crash, but you can see some pretty bad damage there to that car. Hope everyone's okay. Right now, part of Sunnybrook Road in Raleigh is closed after a crash knocked down a utility pole. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Raleigh police say the road will be shut down near Pool Road while crews make repairs. There are only minor injuries from this crash. We're working to find out what led to a vehicle crash into a home in northeast Wake County. This is video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker along Rollsville Road. You can see part of an exterior wall that's damaged and debris scattered across the ground. We've reached out to the Wake County Sheriff's Office to find out if anyone was hurt, and we'll let you know when we hear back. Right now, we are following breaking news in Knightdale. A police investigation is happening on Electric Avenue. That's where we find Ali Calabar in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. And Ali, officers are focusing their attention on the wood line behind apartments there.
And Renee, I really want to set the scene for you because this is what we've seen over the past 2 hours. So we see police units. They are set up in this Park Place Apartments complex parking lot. And I'm going to walk you over to this patch of woods. That's where we're seeing most of the activity. We've seen police officers now taking photos, but in the past 2 hours, they've been shining flashlights, looking through this patch of woods. We've also seen them shine flashlights at some of these apartment buildings as well, mainly focusing on this back area right there, taking photos of that. And we see that police tape also lining this stretch here on Electric Avenue. Of course, we are working to find out just exactly what they are looking for, what happened here. Of course, we're going to keep you updated. Reporting live in Knightdale, Ali Calabar, WRAL News.
Ali, thank you. A traffic alert this morning. 4 of 5 lanes of Highway 54 West near Durham remain closed this morning after a crash more than 12 hours ago. The crash took down power lines near Farrington Road shortly after 2 in the afternoon. A damaged black SUV was left on the hill across from the Miggle power lines. Now, across the road, a box truck was left with power lines wedged behind the cab. Power was restored around 2 this morning. The truck driver was not hurt. No word on the driver of the black SUV. The FBI is investigating after a man and a woman were shot by a Border Patrol agent in Portland, Oregon. The shooting happened yesterday afternoon in a hospital parking lot. The Department of Homeland Security says agents were conducting a targeted vehicle stop. When the agents identified themselves, DHS says the driver tried to run them over, and that's when agents started shooting. Federal officials say they believe the people in the car were tied to a Venezuelan gang. Dozens of protesters gathered outside Portland's ICE facility last night. The mayor is calling for ICE to end operations in Portland until a full investigation is conducted. Now, that shooting comes just one day after a woman was shot and killed by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. Protesters took to the streets in our area last night, including in downtown Durham. They are calling the death of Renee Good an unjustified murder. According to the Trump administration, the federal agent was acting in self-defense. People at the protest say they want the agent who shot Good to be prosecuted, and they'll continue to make their voices heard until ICE is off the streets around the country.
For the people of Minneapolis right now, it's very important that they experience in other parts of the country that we are standing with them.
State GOP Representative Matt Mercer tells WRAL the video of the incident in Minneapolis speaks for itself. The NC GOP supports federal law enforcement, and the far left needs to stop obstructing and causing chaos in communities here in North Carolina and across the country. President Trump says his administration is standing with ICE. WRAL's breaking news tracker was also in Fayetteville, where a crowd gathered on Hay Street to protest the ICE actions in Minnesota. Everything there remained peaceful. More than a dozen protesters gathered in Chapel Hill as well. The group demanded accountability and justice for Renee Good. The protests remained peaceful and dispersed quickly. Construction work is happening now at RDU. Let's give you we don't have a live look at the airport, but we can tell you the temporary construction wall is now in place inside Terminal 2. WRAL's Heidi Kirk is live at RDU this morning. Heidi, people who are traveling this morning will get a new look at the stage of the airport's renovation plan.
Renee, good morning. That they absolutely will. And if you look here behind me, you may not notice much of a change, but walk with me this way. You'll notice if you come to the corner here in Terminal 2, you'll notice this big construction wall right here, literally behind me. And if you take a look up this way, you'll notice how far it really stretches across this area here. Now, crews were working overnight over the last few nights to get this up, but it's part of the airport's terminal expansion projects, which will span over the next several years. Now, go ahead and take a look at your screen. You'll see a little bit of what that project is going to look like once it is complete. Lots of changes here. Now, the biggest part of that project in this area will expand ticketing, international arrival areas, add security checkpoint lanes, and upgrade the baggage handling system. Now, again, it's part of that larger terminal project that's expected to be completed in 2032 as part of the airport's $2.5 billion transformational project. Now, this area is going to be closed off for approximately the next 2 years, but it's worth noting that nothing in this area is really going to be impacted other than that construction wall. You can still come up to the normal ticketing services. All the security checkpoint lanes are still open. So if you come here to RDU, the folks here are assuring you that you'll still have a fairly smooth experience despite that big wall behind us. Heidi Kirk, WRAL News, live at RDU.
Good to know. Heidi, thank you. We are getting a closer look at the cleanup effort at the Raleigh Convention Center. Staff from the Red Hat Amphitheater went to the building yesterday to help get things ready to reopen. The convention center has not hosted any events since it caught fire December 1st. They hope to start hosting events again by the end of this month. The fire caused $2 million in damage. Tomorrow, the Carolina Panthers will take the field for their first playoff game in 8 years. This weekend, more fans say they will be getting to Bank of America Stadium by train. This morning, there are tickets still available for today and tomorrow morning, and they're going for about $29 each way. Fans say the train has a lot of benefits, including safer travels.
So you're avoiding the traffic, you're avoiding the hassle of parking. We deliver the train to Charlotte. There's great connections working with Charlotte Transit to make sure there's good connections between the stadium and the train station.
The train ride takes about 3 hours compared to the 2.5-hour drive. In the next 10 minutes, we'll break down the Panthers' underdog season and the expectations for their game tomorrow on Fox 50 against the LA Rams. People in Cary are expressing their frustration to town leaders about what they say is a lack of transparency. Cary Town Council met last night for the first time since splitting ties with former town manager Sean Stiegel. Stiegel was accused of over-the-top spending and inadequate financial reporting. People who attended the meeting called out what their concerns were about possible missteps by the mayor.
Because when you have public officials doing business and transactions and you have people protesting, the best thing for you to do, if you really care, is to be honorable and step down from your position.
The mayor and council did not respond to public comments during the meeting. We did get a brief update from interim town manager Russ Overton. He says the state auditor's investigation is ongoing. Panthers in the playoffs. Tomorrow they will face the LA Rams in a wild card game. The league underdogs and their confidence going into the postseason. Plus, taking over Greenland. North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis spoke against the plan this week, what the Trump administration is planning for the area. And we are tracking weekend rain. This is a live look at North Hills right now. After the break, meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner shows us the record high temps and storms on the way.
From the WRAL Severe Weather Center, North Carolina's most experienced team of meteorologists.
It is 4:44, and the biggest story this morning is the fact that we're going to have a much wetter day tomorrow than it looked like yesterday. Looking at a good chance of at least some isolated showers up through around the middle of the afternoon, and then the potential for some scattered thunderstorms during the evening. Yesterday, it looked like we may stay dry up until around 5 o'clock or so. This morning, we're starting with mostly cloudy skies. We have the top of the tower lit in purple for clouds, so you'll see that. Of course, we had a lot of cloud cover roll in last night or even late in the day yesterday, so that trend continues. Our temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 40s. It's 46 in Roxborough, 43 in Garner, and 41 in Rocky Mount and Wilson. Your school day planner. Kids probably don't need their biggest heavy winter coat this morning with those mid 40s. And it is going to be a mild day today. Even though it may not be terribly sunny, our highs will still climb into the low 70s.
Elizabeth, thank you. U.S. Senator Thom Tillis of North Carolina is pushing back against the idea that the U.S. should take over Greenland. In a speech on the Senate floor Wednesday, he addressed comments by top White House aide Stephen Miller. Miller said the official position of the U.S. government is that America should have control of Greenland. Tillis called the comments insane and compared them to amateur hour.
The flip side could be that Mr. Miller or somebody else said, hey, this would be cool. Let's take over Greenland. It'll be like a big aircraft carrier. Well, that's stupid, too. And I'm sick of stupid.
Taking control of Greenland has been considered since President Trump returned to office. The president says the territory is critical to U.S. national security. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. will meet with Denmark next week to discuss the future of Greenland. NFL wildcard weekend starts tomorrow for the Carolina Panthers. And if you were stressed about the team not making the playoffs, the Panthers were not. Bryce Young did not watch the Atlanta Falcons game. Mike Jackson was playing 2K, and Ted Aroa was watching a movie. This Panther season has been playing out like a sports movie. Carolina is the only playoff team with a losing record, and they're a double-digit underdog to the Los Angeles Rams. It doesn't look good on paper, but the Panthers are looking to write their own script tomorrow.
It's basically a whole new season, you know, so anybody can win, anybody can lose on any given day. So, and then obviously when the season ends, you know, it ends abruptly. You know, when you lose, you're out. So nobody wants to end in that way. So there's definitely a lot more to play for now, and I feel like the energy is going to be a lot higher.
They know what they need to do. Kickoff for tomorrow's game is at 4:30 p.m. You can watch the action on Fox 50. We'll have team coverage leading up to the big game. Ashley Rowe, Chris Lee, Pat Welter, and Sean Gallagher are in Charlotte today. They will have live reports this afternoon on our news beginning at 4 p.m. We'll have plenty more NFL wildcard games that you can watch this weekend. On Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles host the San Francisco 49ers. Kickoff is at 4:30 on Fox 50. And on WRAL on Sunday night, the Los Angeles Chargers visit the New England Patriots. Coverage starts at 7 and kickoff is at 8 p.m. A school in East Tennessee opened for the first time since Helene devastated that area in September of 2024. Hampton High School is located less than 20 miles from the North Carolina border. Students were able to tour the rebuilt school for the first time yesterday before classes began. And for many of them, it's their first time seeing the inside of the building.
Our freshmen have never been in this building before, and our sophomores were only in here for about 4 weeks. So we've got a lot of, getting students reacclimated to our building, our home.
The school's reopening was emotional for some students. The community locally and statewide worked together to restore the home of the Hampton Bulldogs. WRAL has been covering the rebuilding process for people devastated by Helene. You can watch our documentary, Helene, What We Lost, What We Found, on WRAL.com and our YouTube channel. It is 4:48. It's going to be a warm Friday, and we're expecting rain coming in this weekend. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking all that for us and timing it out. Elizabeth.
We're going to start right now with what's new, and that is the models in the last, say, 12 to 18 hours have started to show more rain for us on Saturday. It doesn't mean that Saturday is going to be a washout, but we'll just have a better chance of a few isolated showers starting earlier in the morning, even as early as around 6 or 7 a.m. We're also still looking at the warm temperatures today and tomorrow will be near records. And then we also have the chance for some thunderstorms as the cold front comes through during the evening tomorrow. And we do have a risk for some severe storms. This is a live look at Pittsburgh this morning. It's dry. Today will stay nice and dry, but it'll be fairly cloudy. That's not going to keep our temperatures down. However, we're starting off in the triangle at around 47 and we'll climb on up into the mid 70s this afternoon. 38 in South Hill. That's our coldest spot. It's 48 in Clinton and in Southern Pines. Most of us are heading out the door into the low to mid 40s. It's 46 in Apex, 43 in Knightdale, 45 right now in Chapel Hill. Our 24-hour temperature change in some places is definitely noticeable, anywhere from 5 to maybe 10 degrees cooler than it was, or I should say warmer than it was this time yesterday. And we're definitely going to be warmer in the afternoon. 73 Raleigh, 71 Durham, 78 in Fayetteville. So our big temperature swing is still on track. Our normal high is 52. We'll be in the mid 70s for today and Saturday. And then our temperatures will take a big dive behind the front and they'll stay cool. We're not going to see another warm spell, at least in the next 7 days. But we'll likely tie the record for both today and tomorrow at 73 and then 75. Then here comes our front for tomorrow. We're going to pause it at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and you can see some scattered showers out ahead of that front. Again, it doesn't look like it's going to be terribly heavy. And there's 8 p.m. With the front, around 8 or 9, we could have a few isolated thunderstorms that are strong to severe. You can see our severe risk from Raleigh northward and westward. Heavy rain, some isolated wind damage is what we'll likely see. Coming up, we're going to talk about how much rain we could see. Boy, we really need it as we're looking at some more major drought across our area.
Elizabeth, thank you. 4:51. Astronauts will return. NASA says the ISS crew will come back in a matter of days. The new details after a medical issue in space. Plus, honoring Mel Brooks. The comedy legend is getting a documentary about his life. Never before seen footage of the 99-year-old's work. Welcome back. We have some breaking news that we're following. There's a crash here on I-87 at Smithfield Road. You can see a lot of emergency vehicles there blocking the lanes right now, and they are diverting traffic there on that exit ramp. Again, this is at I-87 at Smithfield Road. You can see police and emergency crews there on the scene, as well as a fire truck. We're making calls on this, and we'll let you know what we find out about the situation there. NASA says 4 astronauts will return from the International Space Station early. This comes after one of those astronauts on board the ISS experienced a medical issue Wednesday. NASA did not share details of the medical issue or the name of the astronaut impacted. They did say that person is stable. This is the first such evacuation in the space station's 25-year history.
In the coming days, the Dragon Endeavour spacecraft will depart the International Space Station with Commander Zena Cardman, pilot Mike Fink, Kimya Yui from JAXA, and Oleg Platonov of Roscosmos, and safely return them to Earth.
NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman also said the return will be in the coming days, but did not give an exact timeline. They were originally scheduled to return around May. A new documentary will look at the life of comedy legend Mel Brooks, and the matchups are set for the annual Puppy Bowl. David Daniel has that and more in today's Hollywood Minute.
Mel, why did you become a comedian?
Sex.
I see.
The one and only Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks, the 99-year-old man, looks at the comedy legend's extraordinary life and career, featuring new interviews and rare archival footage. The two-part documentary premieres January 22nd on HBO and HBO Max.
What the hell going on? Oh, we heard tale of a party.
Nominations are out for the Directors Guild of America Film Awards. Ryan Coogler for Sinners, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, Guillermo del Toro for Frankenstein, Josh Safdie for Marty Supreme, and Chloe Zhao for Hamnet. The 78th Annual DGA Awards take place February 7th.
I'm sailing away.
This year's Puppy Bowl is set. It's Team Rough versus Team Fluff, plus 15 pups with special needs, and Team Oldies versus Team Goldies, spotlighting senior dogs available for adoption. 150 dogs from more than 70 shelters take the field February 8th on Animal Planet. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Police investigation. Officers are working now in Knightdale. We'll take you out to the scene from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker. Plus, tracking a crash. This is a live look over I-87 at Smithfield Road. In the last few moments, some lanes have opened up, but still a lot of emergency vehicles there responding to the crash. We'll bring you more information as soon as we learn it ahead at 5. And airport construction. Work is happening now to renovate RDU's Terminal 2. The changes you'll see as you travel through the airport.